something that didn't happen overnight, and it took quite a few years to get here. As an immigrant child, there was a few issues with the foreign names and the different food. You used to take salami and liverwurst and funny pickles and things, and with your last surname, you used to have a few nicknames thrown at you. But you had to toughen up. If you didn't, they'd run right all over you. But yeah, it made you be a little bit more competitive to prove that you could compete. I left school when I was turned 15. Actually, I never actually finished high school. My father was a very aggressive man. He used to be a bit violent, so my parents split up. I left home when I was about 16, 17. I thought I knew it all and wanted to go out and experience the world. About 23 years of age, I finally grew a brain cell after having a fairly wayward, debaucherous life.
I knew he was very determined to prove himself after what happened with high school.
And then I had the opportunity to get involved in a business. The guy I worked for had to leave and go overseas. His wife had cancer, and he said, "I'm going away for 4 months." Threw me the keys. I had to learn the ropes fairly quickly, sink or swim basically. So I basically changed my whole image. I started wearing collars and suits and ties and neck pins and better shoes and shorter hair. I had to clean up my act. I was offered an opportunity to buy into it. After we sold the first business, I just, which was a little company called TNT Traders. It was mainly industrial hose and fittings. I worked for a couple of other companies. I actually went to Mackay. That's where my son was born. Came back to Brisbane, worked for another company, selling much the same thing, industrial hoses and products. After a while, one of the distributors or the importers of some products that that I used to sell was unhappy with the company I was working for, and said, "Look, if you want to sell this product, I'll support you." I really didn't want to do it at that stage because it meant, I had a young family, a son that was 2.5 years old and a baby daughter, and it was a bit of a risk. But I had a few arguments or disappointments with the owner of the business, so went on the merry-go-round. Took out a second mortgage on the house and came home, and I remember my wife saying, "What are you doing? You've got a young family here and no job." So I believed in myself and the product I was selling, and started a business called Q-Trading. It was a bit of a struggle, but things got progressively better to the point where I was 5 or 6 years down the track. We were turning over $1.4 to $2 million in turnover. 5 or 6 years after that, into that period, the business was travelling quite long, and I had the opportunity to diversify more into a fire side of a business. After a period of time, we were a fairly major supplier to a large internationally known fire suppression company. At its peak, we had 13 staff doing all their installation work. Up until about 3-4 years ago, we had that international company decided to go its own way and source its products from China. We could either fold it up and gone away, or I had such good staff. I said, "Look, that's just not going to happen." So we started to get proactive and make our own products more and more in-house, take control of our quality control, and go forward with that. And that came about with Q-Tec Fire Services, and that's where we are today, basically.
We've evolved from basically having tools and we'll travel anywhere to do the jobs to making all this stuff ourselves now.
I went once to Rockley and I saw how he established himself. He absolutely did marvelous.
Success is it's mental. If you believe it, you can do it. Simple as that.